Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my reading wrap-up really of the year. My December wrap-up is coming after this. Okay, I've decided to keep them separate, otherwise this video would be way too long. Yeah, I thought I would do like the end of year book tag. I think I did it last year. I've got my laptop here because I'm on my iCloud. I took a screenshot of the questions and now I'm thinking I should have just gone on the video itself because I can barely read these. Oh, can I zoom in? Oh, I can zoom in. Lovely. So I've gotten the questions from Larry Reads. I'll put them in the description below. But obviously I'm using my phone to film, so I needed some sort of thing to see what the questions were. Anyway, yeah, I think last year I did the end of year book tag. I'm pretty sure these questions are the same as the ones I did last year. But let's reflect on 2024 and what I read. So the first question is most disappointing book of the year. Most disappointing. I have two answers for this. The first one, actually neither of these I have anymore. Acts of Service by Lillian Fishman. I thought it was going to be so good, and the premise of it I thought was going to be so good, and then I hated the execution. It's my one and only 1 star because that book taught me just DNF the book. If you're not enjoying it, stop reading it. So that's one of them, and the other one I think would be the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I've also DNF'd that, and the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, because the fact it was a summer book but marketed as an autumn book annoyed me so much that I'm like, I'm not even gonna finish in the series. Also, I just thought it was mid. So, when it was gonna be the Bluebell Bookstore, I was so excited after reading the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and they changed the name, and then they decided to market it as if it's an autumn book, but it's actually set in summer. So that book was very disappointing for me as well. Okay, what was an underdog book? Oh, I don't know. I have my reading journal for, well, actually this is for 2023 and 2024. It's so thick because that was 2023 and this was 2024 because I used sticker paper. I'm not doing that this year because it's so thick. It's just not viable, honestly. Let's have a look. Underdog. So a book I didn't think I would like that much, or that I ended up loving, I guess. Okay, I guess one of them, it's actually right here. Girl Goddess Queen. I believe it's her debut novel. B. Miller? B. Fitzgerald. Don't know where I got Miller from. Yeah, Girl Goddess Queen by B. Fitzgerald. This one is a Hades and Persephone retelling. As far as I'm aware, I'm going to uncross my legs because I think this is going to fall. As far as I'm aware, it's her first book. And then the second one came out earlier this year and I haven't read it yet. This book was so good. I'm going to say underdog just because it's not a known author. And I didn't think I would enjoy it quite as much as I did. I absolutely loved this book. It's a very like female empowerment take on Hades and Persephone. And she's the one with the real power, not Hades. I mean, they're both gods. But he's like god of the underworld, you know? He's one of the big three. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. But I would say this one is the only one I can think of really for underdog book. I didn't really think this through, me like sitting down and having my laptop, but anyway. What was an overhyped book you read? So a book that people said was amazing that I didn't love. I think I know what I'm going to say for this, and I think people are going to hate me. Oh, I know. Again, I don't own this, but Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I think I gave it like a 2.5 or a 2.75. Everyone loves Abby Jimenez. Everyone loves all of her books. But like that series, like Part of Your World, Yours Truly, just for the summer. I read Part of Your World and will not read another Abby Jimenez book. I don't know what it is. To me, it's the fact she was was she 38 or 40? I'm fairly sure she was 40 because I'm sure in the reading vlog I mentioned the fact that she's 40 years old multiple times. How can you be that much of an adult? like in your 40s and still care what mummy and daddy think, I'm sorry, get a life. I hated the FMC. And the whole thing, I thought it was overhyped. Like, yeah, that was, yeah. That was also, I suppose, a disappointing book as well, actually. Okay, a book that surprised you. Again, I'll have to consult. This is my bookshelves of what I've read this year, and it's so cute and colourful. I love it. And also it's colour coded per month for how I coloured it in during the month. Anyway, a book that surprised me. Oh, you know what did surprise me? This is a series, but A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Because the first book, what did I rate the first book? That was in March. The first book I rated a 4 stars, but book 2 and 3 I've rated a 5 stars. I love that series, and I didn't think, because it's a YA murder mystery, I really didn't think it would be something that I loved or connected with so much. And it's not that I connected with it, like I didn't relate to Pip, I just love Pip as a character. So it really surprised me how much I've loved that series and become obsessed, and just like I can see myself rereading it even though like all the twists are spoiled now. But yeah, it was the first time reading Good Girl, Bad Blood and As Good as Dead. Like, yeah, I'd love to reread the first book now and see what I would think about it actually. But yeah. Your favourite book couple, in brackets, of the year. Okay, who's my favourite? Okay, one of them, hang on. I'm gonna put the laptop down so I can get these because this is gonna be a lot. Okay, I'm not gonna go in order of my rating of them. I'm just gonna go in order of when I've read them so I don't miss any out. Okay, my first one, my first read of the year and my first 5 star, lovely designed, for Julian and Dahlia. Loved these two. I absolutely love their dynamic. They're like squabbling at first, that then turned to love. Their banter, it was so good. Julian and Dahlia are going to be up there with one of my favourite like couples ever, especially just I love Julian. So they're the first ones. Okay, and then from the fake out we have Rory and Hazel. Again, bickering turned to love. They had really good banter. One scene I always remember from this book is it was a bit like Gossip Girl, where they played, oh, is it called Murder? Assassin. They played Assassin. And it reminded me of Gossip Girl, and I love that scene. And then they were in a cupboard. Got a little steamy. Yeah, this couple, I loved this couple. Okay, this is kind of going out of order, and I'm not going to get all of them down, but every single couple in the Playing for Keeps series, I love them, but specifically from Play With Me. So this couple is Garrett and Jenny. Jenny is Carter's, I'm getting myself confused because of the off-campus series, because there's Garrett's and Carter's and it's all very confusing. Jenny is Carter from Consider Me's sister, and Garrett is Carter's best friend. But these two become friends first, and that's like friends to lovers and like a friends with benefit situation, and they have really good banter, and I just love them two as a couple. So yeah, but honestly the whole series, because also I love these two as well. I feel so sick right now. I'm on antibiotics and they're not agreeing with me. Right, tomorrow I'm at work tomorrow and it's not going to be fun. Anyway, right, Fall With Me is the most recent book in this series, and to me the most beautiful cover. We've got Jackson and Lennon in this one. I love these two. I don't know who's my favourite couple out of the series though. All 4 couples are amazing, and so yeah, just the whole series gets an honourable mention. And then this is the 3rd book in, what's the series actually called? It does not say what this series is called, but this is a long time coming. The 3rd series, is it the Kane? Are they called Kane? I don't know. But we've got Leah and Breaker in this one, and again it's friends to lovers, and I love them. I was really rooting for these two as a couple to just get together already, because that man was so in love, it's not even funny. All of that, and we're only into March. What else? Who else did I love? Okay, I have like I'm just gonna quickly name the books because I'm naming the couples quickly, like off. I'm just gonna go like a quick list off just to save time because I'm already stuck on this one question and it's the third question. So I'm just gonna do a quick speed read of the books because I can't be able to think of the couples' names right now off the top of my head, whereas the names are right here. So obviously Butcher and Blackbird, love that one. Love that couple. Divine Rivals, Iris and Rowan, absolutely. Is it Roman or Rowan? I always get confused because I read two with the names very similar. Love those two. Honestly, Assistant to the Villain, are those two together yet? No, I still love them so much. Out on a Limb as well, love those two as a couple, they were great. The Deal as well, love them too. Your favourite main characters of the year? Ooh, that's a good one. I think one of my absolute favourites is Evie from Assistant to the Villain. I love her, she is so relatable, she is so funny. I just absolutely like this book and this series. I absolutely ate up. The fact I have to wait till September for the third and final book is absolutely killing me. I loved this and I loved her. She was a great main character. I definitely should have organised these answers in advance instead of doing this off the cuff. But it is what it is. I hope you don't find it rude that I'm chewing gum through this, but I'm a bit nauseous because of these antibiotics, so anyway. Who did I love? Oh, obviously, like I mentioned before, Pip from the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. She is one of my favourite characters of the year, by far. New favourite author you've discovered this year? I think Holly Jackson, obviously author of Good Girls Guide to Murder. Love her. I really want to read Fab Survive and the reappearance of Rachel Price. Who else have I discovered this year? I think Megan Quinn, because I've read that Kane Brothers, I'm sure it's the Kane Brothers series, and Not So Meet Cute, So Not Meant to Be, in A Long Time Coming, and then How My Neighbour Stole Christmas, which, yes, that one was a lower rating, but I really want to read more of her stuff. I've got quite a few of her books that I really want to read. Author that didn't work out for you this year, definitely Abby Jimenez. Yes, I only read one book. One book was enough. Anyone else? I feel like I've only read the one Tessa Bailey book this year, but I'm not very interested in what she's coming out with kind of at the moment. So I feel like I'm kind of dropping off the Tessa Bailey train at the minute. Or I suppose I can, for favourite author, maybe Olivia Blake as well. I've really enjoyed her books this year. Yeah, I think just author that didn't work out is probably just Abby Jimenez, which is a shame because I hear so much good stuff about her work, but I don't think she's for me. What is the happiest book you read this year? I'm not going to bother getting up to get it because it's all up there. I'm going to say Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, because that whole book, me and the idea of pregnancy and childbirth and all that and being a parent, I have a weird relationship with it. I'm not sure how I feel. But as a human being and a woman, I think the most miraculous thing a person can do is bring a child into the world, and childbirth and pregnancy, I think, are amazing. I mean, like, what the body goes through and all of that. Like, women are so amazing and strong, and I just think all power to pregnant women and mums. And the whole book, you've got this couple who have decided to be friends because they've gotten pregnant over a one-night stand, and they have such a healthy relationship and they have such good communication, and even how they're treating the pregnancy and everything, like, it's just so healthy and happy, and the ending. And so I just feel like Out on a Limb is a really good feel-good book. Just happy things are happening all through it. So I think that. I think, weirdly enough, Welcome to the Hyung Nam Dong Bookshop as well. This book, I feel, was happy in a what's the word I'm trying to think of? Happy in a comforting kind of way. I think the things it talks about, the themes of the book, it's just happy because it's accepting, and I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's just a very comforting read if you feel lost, or if you feel like you're not doing what you should be doing, if you're not somewhere in life where you feel like you should be. It's a really good comforting book. So I like that one. And that to me is happy, just because it's about embracing what you want out of life and books. Yeah. What was the saddest book you read this year? Okay, one of them, Song of Achilles. Did not think I was going to cry at it at all. Last 30 pages had me sobbing. Didn't know what to do with myself. So Song of Achilles, definitely. Honestly, Babel is kind of a sad book. When you think about what happens and like everything. Babel is quite a sad book, actually. Weirdly enough. Because it's a dark academia, but it was sad. I didn't get like teary on it, but just the themes, what happens, I would say it is kind of a sad book. Most frustrating book you read this year? Acts of Service by Lillian Fishman, You Again by Kate Goldbeck. I've also gotten rid of that one. And Part of Your Will by Abby Jimenez. All three of those books I didn't like. I realised when I've looked through that You Again is also a very disappointing read. It's just, if I don't like the characters, I don't like the book. There's a difference where you're reading a book where you're meant to not like the main character. If you're meant to like the characters and you don't like them, no thank you. I think the most frustrating was probably Part of Your World though, because the whole time I was reading it, I was like, literally, what is wrong with you? Grow up. Like, yeah. The best book adaptation of the year, I don't really have one for this. I don't think I've watched anything that I've read that's come out this year. So I'm gonna skip that question because I don't think I've watched anything. Your favourite covers of the year. Ooh. What's come out? Well, I showed you before, but Fall With Me. That came out this year. This is a beautiful cover. It's just stunning. Yeah. Also the Fairy Loot special editions of the Twisted series, which you can only just see. They technically came out this year. What else? Oh, I will put photos up. But welcome to the Hyungnam Bookshop. The hardcover is a night version and the paperback is a day version, and I have the paperback. Both covers I love, but I think the day version's really pretty. So yeah, that's gonna be my answer for that. A book you haven't stopped thinking about. I mean, to be honest, I read this last year, but I always think of the Chestnut Spring series. I quite literally am always thinking about that series. So, but I read that last year, so that doesn't count. Who else? What book have I also not stopped thinking about? Honestly, I think How Reckless ended. I think about that often. I also feel like I do think about Love Redesigned quite a bit, because it was the first book I read this year and my first 5 stars. And yeah, it was a really good start to that series. Unpopular book you loved? I don't think there is any. I mean, we could go That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, because I don't think they're popular books. And when I say loved, I did not rate highly, I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, I feel like Court of the Vampire Queen by, is it Kate Robert or Katie Robert? It's 2 E's on it, isn't it? I'm gonna say Katie Robert. I could be wrong. It's basically it's a standalone vampire why choose. Again, I don't know what the Goodreads is on it. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I really enjoyed it. Again, didn't rate it highly, but I loved it. Book you thought you'd love but didn't. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I did enjoy it. It was alright. Well, when I say I did enjoy it, it took me a while to read it, but I could see what was good about it. I really thought I would love it as a cozy fantasy, and I didn't, and I was quite disappointed by that, actually. I liked the book, I just didn't love it. Book with the most unique concept you read this year. Oh, I don't think I've read anything unique, I'll be completely honest with you. I think maybe the magic system for Babel and how that worked, with it being silver and language, and how those two are used together, and how language specifically was used, and like translating that language, because it had to be 2 languages for it to work. So I think purely from magic system, Babel probably is the most unique book that I've read this year as a concept. Book you read this year that you would reread? Funny Story by Emily Henry. Not even any doubt on that. I am actually really looking forward to rereading it. There's quite a few I would reread actually. The whole of the like Playing for Keeps series I would reread. I'm probably going to reread the Crown and Nyaxia series as well because it's going to keep going and I'll want to probably reread it at some point to get up to date with it. Okay, Goodreads 2024 reading goal reflection and a reading goal for 2025. So this year my reading goal was 120 books because I figured that's about 10 books a month and it was 20 books more than my goal for the year before. I did hit the goal in December. I think I hit it December, what day was it? December 7th I hit the goal and I ended up reading 127 books this year. And I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with how much more I read this year. But consciously I know it's not how much you read but the quality of what you read, which we will reflect on because I have got some stats. Yeah, I think I'm really happy with the books I've read this year. I think I'm gonna prioritize differently what books I'm gonna read this coming year. Maybe pick things that are more quality over just hypey and book talky. Yeah, my goal for next year is 100 books. I do want more. I think this year my whole life has been reading and I've loved it, but I would like a bit more varying. I want a bit more of a varying social life and hobbies. I wanted like a bit more variety next year, so I've lowered it this instead of what's the point of just keep going up and up and up for how much I'm going to read. I'm going to get to a point where I physically can't read anymore, and yeah, I think I would just like to do other things as well as read. So I've lowered it to 100 books for next year. I would also like to read 5 classics next year, just because. So we'll see if I manage that. Book you wish you got to this year. The Whole of Throne of Glass. It was on my list. I should have read it this year. I've had it since last November. The Whole of Throne of Glass, I really wanted to get to that series this year and I just didn't. I don't know why. I think I'm intimidated by the tandem read and I'm intimidated by the fact that Kingdom of Ash is nearly 1,000 pages. I swear to God, I better not be sick because he's Edinburgh because I'm going to be so pissed if I am. Anyway, I need to go and take one again in 2 minutes. I'm literally like weirdly nauseous right now, but I think I'm just anxious because of it as well. Anyway, push through, breathe through it. Yeah, the main book I wish I got to this year was the whole Throne of Glass series. And the final question, what will you prioritise in your 2025 reading year? I kind of covered this with the other question, but I think more quality, reading books that I really want to read in that moment and not thinking, oh, I need to read this for a video or I have to read this. And I think putting down books I'm not enjoying it. I mean, I have done that this year. I'm quite happy with like DNFing books. There's a couple of books I wish I DNF'd, active service. But I think I want to prioritise reading books that I'm really excited for and dying to read and just going off that. Yes, I have got my end of year stats. So I worked them out. It's just basically the yearly version of what I do for my monthly wrap-ups. So the total books I read this year, like I say, was 127. Total pages read this year was 44,533. That's based off of what I've written for each book and for each month. My Goodreads says it was 49,000, but I don't agree with that. Ratings, I had one star. That's only, again, that was active service, and after that I learned to DNF books so that I had no more 1 stars. I had 5 2 stars, or 2, that's 2, or like 2.5, 2.75. And same for the rest of them. I had 27 3 stars, 73 4 stars, and 15 5 stars. I read 70 romance books, 17 dark romance, 7 fiction, 24 fantasy, 3 mystery thriller, 1 memoir, 3 dark academia, and 1 mythology. And format wise, 88 of the books I read were paperback, 14 were hardback, 6 were audio, and 21 were Kindle. Yes, anyway, so yeah, this reading journal is completely full now. I mean, I had to get some paper and stick it in the back. It's that full. So I have moved on to a bigger journal, even though I want to read less next year, technically. I mean, I might not, I might read more, who knows. But just have things I want to do next year. I don't know. I've got a 25 and 2025. So let's recap what I would like. Let's go on to what my goals for next year are. So the 25 books that I would like to read next year are, in no particular order, The 7-Year Slip, Addicted to You, Onyx Storm, This Is How You Lose the Time War, The Night Circus, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, Bonded by Thorns, Little Women, Indigo Ridge, Mile High, The Air, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, The Chase, Yellowface, The Rainfall Market, The Book of Asriel, Electra, Belladonna, The Crimson Moth, Fearless, The Chase, When the Moon Hatched, Pride and Prejudice, Great Big Beautiful Life, and Buddha, which was Waterstone's book of the year. Obviously then I've got my year in books, which is all very like aesthetic. It's cute. I don't know how I'm going to do it this year colour coding wise, but we'll see. Obviously I've got my physical TBR, which it's separated by books I bought in 2023 and before, and books I bought in 2024, which I did sort of this year. I have whole pages, so yeah, prepared to buy a lot of books. I have written 3 in already for January, even though technically I bought them this month. I'm already in the new year and I don't care anymore. So I have my series tracker, which I didn't have one this year, so it'll be nice to see what we can do. Only thing is I haven't got much space left for any ongoing series, so yeah, anyway, we'll figure that one out. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. My author list, I last year had Anna Huang and Elsie Silver on it as well. I've read their backlog, so I currently only have Lucy Score and Sophie Lark, but I might add more to it, so we'll see. Then this is a new one, my anticipated reads. So far I've only got anything until August, but I mean I've got nothing for July yet, so this will be added to as and when I know books are going to come out. But there's quite a few books I'm looking forward to. April is going to be a good month, I have to say. It's going to be a very good month. And then obviously my reading tracker, which I did one this year as well. And then yes, I have my 2025 goals. That's a new page, but I haven't got many. So obviously read 100 books, read a memoir, read 5 classics, and just to feel like I've got my money's worth, I want to read 2 books on KU a month. So that means my physical TBR will not go down all that much. Out of 100, that means, let's say 20 will be read Kindle. So that's 20 non-physical books being read. But I want to get my money's worth out of paying for KU. And then I haven't done it yet because I need to print it, but I'm going to do a seasonal TBR. So this one's obviously my winter TBR. And I'm going to just print the books that I would like to read each season. And we'll see if I do it or not. And then that's where we're up to. So to reflect on 2024, it's actually been quite a good year in general. But I feel, I mean, a lot of it was based on books. I won't lie. I've done a lot of time reading this year. And maybe I need to do more things, other things. But I feel like I've had a lot of healing this year through books and through some of the books I read. Things like What You're Looking For Is in the Library and Welcome to the Hyunam-dong Bookshop and She and Her Cat. So basically Japanese literature has healed me this year. And I want more of it. There's so many Japanese books I really want to read. It's not even funny. Just like, I mean, When the Coffee Gets Cold, I bought that today. Looking forward to that series. There's a new Korean book that's just come out called The Rainfall Market, which I have bought last week. And it's meant to be like When the Coffee Gets Cold and the... Oh, what's it called? Is it called The Magic Library? What's it called? By Matt Haig. Secret Library. What's it called? I'll put it here. I forgot the name of it off the top of my head. It's meant to be like a hybrid of them two, which I've heard it's really good. So that one's Korean, not Japanese, but you know. Yeah, there's quite a lot of books I'm really looking forward to reading. Obviously Onyx Storm comes out in January. I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame before reading Onyx Storm. I'm so excited, it's not even funny. Yeah, I just have a lot of books I really want to read next year. We're meant to be talking about this year that's been, not next year. Anyway. Yeah, I think when I look back, I think there's a few books where I've wasted my time on, to be in the nicest way. But it's all learning. I've only been reading to this extent this last 2 years. I mean, I didn't read as a child when we had to in school because I don't like doing things I have to do. And then when I was a teenager, I got back into reading. And I stayed reading for a good few years through my teenage years. Some of it on Wattpad, not fanfics weirdly enough, but yeah. And then I kind of dropped off of reading and I got involved with other things, and then AO3 happened, and that time it was fan fiction. So I have been reading since like 2020. It's just only since 2023 that I've been reading physical books that aren't fan fiction. So, but I would get through a lot of books on AO3, I'll tell you that now. But I feel like my tastes have started to diversify this year, which I think is good. I think having options and variety is good. Sticking to one kind of thing, you might sicken yourself to it. So I think next year I want to keep broadening my literary horizons. At this point I feel like I'm now just rambling, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely new year, and hopefully you've read a lot of lovely books this year that you've loved. If you want to continue on the journey with me of reading and life, then click the like button, subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video, which will probably be my December reading wrap up. So yeah, stick around if you want to see that. And yeah, bye.